Part 1. The hidden blueprint of the cosmic elite, when the universe marks you before you're born. There's a moment in every chosen one's life when something unexplainable begins to happen. You feel like you're living in two worlds at once. On the surface, everything looks normal: school, family, jobs, relationships. But underneath it all, there's a quiet, persistent sense that something is different about you. Not in an arrogant way, in a way that almost feels like a burden. Like you were marked by something ancient before you even came into this life. You try to ignore it, to blend in, to be normal. But something deeper refuses to let you forget. We begin this journey with one undeniable truth. You were never meant to live a normal life. And the universe has been trying to tell you this from the very beginning. The first strong sign you are among the most powerful chosen ones is this: you've always felt like an outsider, even when surrounded by people. There's an invisible wall between you and the world. You feel deeply, you think differently, and often you see things others don't. You may have grown up being misunderstood, labeled as too sensitive, too intense, too quiet, or too rebellious. But what if those weren't flaws? What if they were early indicators of your cosmic assignment? When you're chosen, your soul carries a different frequency. This isn't just poetic language, it's literal. Your energetic signature is coded with a mission, and that mission is not something society trains you for. That's why your early life often feels like confusion, chaos, or even suffering. You are being unplugged from the collective trance, and that process is painful. You're not just living through personal problems, you're going through spiritual recalibration. Have you ever wondered why your life has never quite worked the way it should for other people? That's not failure. That's preparation.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
The second sign is this: intense early challenges. Most of the top 1% chosen ones go through unusual levels of pain, loss, or isolation in their formative years. This is not a punishment, it's an initiation. Pain becomes the forge that burns away your false self. The ego cannot carry the power you're meant to hold, so the universe begins to strip it down. You may have felt betrayed by people you loved, left out of circles you longed to belong to, or crushed by situations that seemed too big for someone your age. But looking back, can you see how each wound shaped your wisdom? How each heartbreak cracked you open to something larger? Then, as you begin to awaken, the third sign emerges. Your intuition becomes louder than logic. You start to feel guided by something unseen. You make decisions that surprise even you, and yet they lead to profound shifts. You avoid a place and later learn something dangerous happened there. You feel drawn to a book, a teacher, a path, and it unlocks something dormant inside you. You stop asking for proof and start trusting the pattern. Because the pattern has proven itself too many times, you live by a different compass now. One that doesn't always make sense to the world, but makes perfect sense to your soul. The fourth sign is your relationship with time. Chosen ones often feel like they're living ahead of their age. As a child, you may have felt ancient. As an adult, you may feel like you're running out of time, even when there's no logical reason. This is because your soul is working from a divine timeline. You came here with a mission encoded in your DNA, and that mission has activation points. These activation points are triggered by events, people, locations, and even certain words or sounds. Have you ever heard something, a phrase, a chant, a line in a song, and felt your whole body respond before your mind could understand? That's not imagination. That's memory, soul memory. The fifth sign is the way you attract chaos and miracles in equal measure. Your life is not stable in the traditional sense. Things tend to fall apart just before they break through. You may experience sudden losses followed by inexplicable gains. You're not unlucky, you're on a different cycle. The universe is not punishing you, it's calibrating you to higher frequencies. And the only way to do that is to move you through contrast. The chosen ones must experience the full spectrum of human emotion because they are meant to hold space for others. You can't guide people through darkness unless you've walked it yourself. Then comes the sixth sign. People are drawn to you, or they're deeply triggered by you. There's rarely a middle ground. Even strangers sense something in your energy. Some feel safe with you instantly, as if they've known you forever. Others feel uncomfortable, even hostile, without knowing why. This is because your energy stirs the unconscious in others. You mirror truth, and not everyone is ready to face that. You'll find that people confess their deepest secrets to you without understanding why, or that they avoid you because your presence disrupts the illusions they've built their lives around. Either way, you're doing your work by simply existing. Now, the seventh and final sign is this. You have a deep, almost unexplainable knowing that you came here for something big. You may not know what it is yet, but you feel it burning inside you like a silent flame. You've tried to fit into the roles others expect of you, but nothing satisfies you for long. You crave depth, truth, purpose. You're not interested in small talk, shallow goals, or temporary pleasures. You want something real, something that feeds not just your mind, but your spirit. And that longing is sacred. It's the echo of your soul recalling its mission. Ask yourself right now, have you ever felt like your life was preparing you for something that hasn't happened yet? That everything you've been through, every pain, every moment of grace, every strange coincidence, it's all part of a larger story you haven't fully remembered yet. That feeling is not fantasy, it's alignment. It's the early stages of soul remembrance. And when that remembrance begins to crystallize, everything in your life will start to shift. You'll begin to notice synchronicities increasing, not just as random events, but as confirmations. You'll begin to feel your energy attracting people, opportunities, and even challenges designed to awaken you further. You'll start to realize that your life is not just about you, it's about the field you're here to impact. You are a node in the spiritual grid of this planet. And your frequency, once activated, becomes a ripple across the collective consciousness. But you must understand this. Being chosen doesn't make you better. It makes you responsible. The power you carry is not for ego. It's for service. That's why the universe doesn't awaken everyone at once. It awakens those who are ready to remember who they are and why they came. And if you've resonated with these signs, then you are being called to rise, to step beyond survival, to step into sacred authority. And that journey will not always be easy. You will lose people. You will face tests. You will doubt yourself. But if you stay true to your inner knowing, if you follow the signs, If you trust the fire inside you, nothing can stop what you're here to become. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to remake the world by being fully, unapologetically yourself. What would it look like if you stopped waiting for permission to be powerful? What would happen if you treated your intuitive impulses as divine commands? What if you trusted that the pain you've endured was the tuition for the wisdom you now carry? The universe doesn't waste pain. It transforms it into power for those willing to receive it. Part 2. The divine weight you carry. How the top 1% chosen ones transmit invisible power without even trying. There's a mystery about you that even you haven't fully grasped yet. You walk into rooms and people shift, energy shifts, and you can feel it, but you don't know why. It's not because of your appearance, your speech, or your achievements. It's something behind you, within you, through you. Something ancient, something ineffable. And the more you grow in awareness, the more you realize your presence is a force. Not because you try to be powerful, but because you carry a frequency that only the rarest 1% ever awaken into. This invisible power that chosen ones carry is not loud or aggressive. It's not about dominance. It's not performance. It's purity. The purity of someone who has been broken open and rebuilt by truth. The purity of someone who has chosen alignment over approval. The power comes not from what you do, but from what you've let go of. You've shed illusions that most people still cling to. You've walked away from what most people are still addicted to. And in that shedding, you've become a mirror that reflects the deepest truths of the soul. Have you ever noticed that people feel safe around you even when you say nothing? Or that people project their fears onto you even when you've done nothing to provoke them? That's the energy field of a chosen one at work. You're not just a person, they feel something transmitting through you. It's unsettling for some, healing for others. You become a tuning fork. You reveal what's unspoken, and you do it without trying. That's how you know it's real. Power that is embodied never needs to announce itself. It simply is. And this power is not random. It's earned through spiritual fire. You've been through experiences that shattered your identity. You faced betrayals that stripped you of trust. You've lived through dark nights where the only voice you could hear was your own breath reminding you to keep going. And through all of that, something emerged. Not bitterness, but clarity. Not resentment, but resonance. You didn't just survive, you alchemized. And now your energy carries the weight of someone who has seen the other side and returned with gold. This is why people are often drawn to you when they are in crisis. Without realizing it, they're seeking the frequency you emit. Not your advice, not your solutions, your stability, your inner knowing. Your field becomes a sanctuary where others feel seen, even if they don't know why. This is not a coincidence. This is the design. You were never meant to be just another voice in the crowd. You are a frequency holder. And the top 1% chosen ones are not just here to speak the truth, they are here to be it. But with this invisible power comes a sacred tension. You begin to feel the weight of other people's projections. You become the target of their unhealed energy. You may find yourself being blamed for things that have nothing to do with you. You might feel exhausted after simple interactions. This is not because you're weak, it's because you're sensitive to frequency. You are absorbing and transmuting energy constantly. And if you don't ground yourself, if you don't protect your field, you'll burn out. That's why boundaries are not an option for the chosen ones, they are a requirement. You must know when to open and when to close. You must learn to say no, not from fear, but from clarity. You must protect your energy like a sacred temple, not because others are evil, but because not everyone is ready to receive what you carry without distorting it. Your energy is medicine. But medicine, when given to the wrong person at the wrong time, can become poison. The top 1% chosen ones also carry an unusual relationship with time and space. You may find that people from the past suddenly resurface with unresolved karma, or that you are drawn to places, cities, or cultures you've never studied but feel intimately familiar. This is the soul's multidimensional memory awakening. You are not just living this life, you are remembering your soul's lineage. You've walked these paths before. You've held this light before. And now, it's activating again, stronger than ever. This is why there's a deep urgency in your spirit. You may not know exactly what you're meant to do, but you know you came here to do something important. That urgency isn't anxiety, it's a soul alarm clock. The universe is nudging you to stop playing small, to stop waiting for permission, to stop explaining yourself to people who don't speak your language. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to transmit a higher signal, and that signal will only grow louder the more you trust it. Let me ask you something that only a few will truly feel. What if staying silent about your truth is the very thing delaying someone else's awakening? What if your voice, your story, your energy is the activation code for someone else's remembering? What if your greatest fear, being seen, is also your greatest mission? This is not about ego. This is about service. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to break the spell of unconsciousness. And the beautiful paradox is this: the more you align with your truth, the less effort is required. Things begin to find you. People show up with divine timing. You speak, and the right ears hear. You move, and the right doors open. This is not magic, it's coherence. You've become so internally aligned that external reality starts to mirror that alignment with precision. The world bends to meet those who are anchored in their soul. But this is not without sacrifice. The chosen ones often lose relationships, careers, and identities along this path. Not because they are being punished, but because what once fit no longer does. The old containers can't hold the new frequency. The universe removes what was never truly aligned so that your real path can emerge. And while this shedding is painful, it's also sacred. Don't run from it. Bless it. Honor it. Let it clear the way. Because what's coming is bigger than you imagined. There's a reason you were drawn to this message. A reason you're still listening. Something in your soul recognizes itself here. And that recognition is not just emotional, it's instructional. You're being called to the next level of embodiment. Not just to know you're chosen, but to live like it, to walk like it, to speak like it, to breathe like someone who remembers why they came. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. And light, when it enters darkness, doesn't ask for permission to shine. So now the real question is, Are you willing to carry the divine weight of your own frequency? Are you ready to stop playing roles and start living as the raw, radiant truth of your being? Are you ready to walk into rooms and shift realities not because of what you do, but because of who you are? The world is waiting, and your silence is no longer harmless. Part 3. The final seal of power. How the top 1% chosen ones fulfill their mission and trigger global awakening by simply being themselves. There is a moment, often quiet and unannounced, when the most powerful chosen ones realize they no longer need to seek anything. Not approval, not answers, not even purpose. Because they become the purpose. They stop chasing and start embodying. They no longer ask, "What am I here to do?" Instead, they become the doing. Their life becomes the message, and their energy becomes the transmission. And in that rare frequency, they fulfill the mission they were encoded with, without trying to fulfill anything at all. This is the final seal of power, effortless impact. The 1% of the chosen ones reach a point where their presence alone activates others. They no longer need to perform, convince, or prove. Their life becomes a living scripture written in energy, not words. People begin to shift just by being near them. Some feel peace, others feel triggered, but all feel something. Because the chosen are no longer reacting to the world, they are recalibrating it by simply being fully themselves. You must understand this. The path to this final stage is not external success. It's internal integration. You do not become powerful by doing more. You become powerful by becoming less divided within yourself. Every part of you must be brought into alignment: your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your intention. And you must become what you speak of. You must embody what you once only believed. The words must disappear, and the frequency must remain. That's how you become a living portal to truth. And when you reach this level of inner coherence, your entire life becomes a field of initiation for others. People step into your energy and begin to remember who they are. They may not even know why they're drawn to you. They may resist it. But something begins to awaken. You carry keys, activation codes, soul frequencies, ancient memories. You don't access them through study. You access them through full presence, through radical alignment, through unshakable authenticity. But this is where many chosen ones get tested most severely, because this final seal demands radical self-trust. You'll be asked to walk away from everything that still feeds the old self. You'll be asked to speak truths that cost you relationships. You'll be called to hold your frequency in rooms where no one understands you. And you'll be given visions that no one else can see. That's why most people never reach this level. Because it requires absolute surrender, not to the world, but to your own soul. Let me ask you something that will either terrify or awaken you. What if your greatest act of service to the world is not what you do, but who you refuse to stop being, no matter how uncomfortable it makes others? What if the reason you were born into a world of confusion was to be the one who doesn't forget? What if your refusal to dilute your truth is the very thing that realigns the collective frequency? You've already seen it. Someone hears your story and their eyes light up. Someone reads your words and suddenly feels less alone. Someone watches how you live and they begin to question their own programming. This is the ripple effect of the awakened chosen ones. Not because you're pushing an agenda, but because you're not hiding anymore. Your liberation gives others permission to seek their own. And this is the great paradox of the chosen. The more you become yourself, the less you need to do. The more you embody your truth, the less you need to explain it. The more you live in alignment, the more the universe arranges everything around that alignment. You become a magnet for divine timing, a trigger for awakening, a lighthouse for the lost. And yet you do it all by simply being you. The final sign that you are among the most powerful chosen ones is this: you no longer ask for signs. You know you are the sign. You don't wait for the world to give you permission. You are the permission. You don't seek a platform. You are the platform. Your very existence becomes a doorway through which others remember their divinity. And you no longer need to be perfect for this to happen. You only need to be true. And if you're listening right now, and something deep within you is vibrating not just emotionally, but cellularly, then you're already stepping into this frequency. You're already remembering. You're already reactivating the part of yourself that has always known. The part that came here to stand alone if necessary. The part that never needed validation because it was born of vision. That part is rising now. But you must choose. You must choose truth over comfort. You must choose alignment over approval. You must choose soul over strategy. Because the final seal of power is not given, it's unlocked. And it is unlocked by the uncompromising commitment to your own divine design. No more hiding. No more shrinking. No more apologizing for your light. You are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs to remember itself. You may not be famous. You may not be loud. You may never go viral. But you will vibrate. You will radiate. You will recalibrate the energy of everyone and everything you touch. Because your soul came here with codes that no one else carries. And when you choose to stop suppressing them, the world changes. Not all at once, not in fireworks, but in frequency, in resonance, in the quiet, steady pulse of someone who has remembered. So now I ask you, with all the weight and wonder of your calling, will you live like you are the living transmission of a higher truth? Will you walk like your footsteps are waking the earth? Will you speak like your words are realigning timelines? Will you breathe like your presence is a prayer? Because it is.